Thank you for listening to the Following Films podcast. I'm your host, Chris Maynard. Before we get into today's conversation, I have a quick 3-second favor to ask. If you love discovering the stories behind your favorite movies, please subscribe to the show right now. While you're there, leave us a quick review. It helps other cinephiles find the show. And if you hear something you love today, tell a friend about us. Word of mouth is how we grow, and we appreciate every single one of you. Today, we're exploring a gorgeous new indie road movie that just hit theaters on June 5th. It's called Carolina, Caroline, and joining us is the man responsible for this stunning, emotionally raw look, the cinematographer. This film is a beautiful contradiction. It draws heavy on inspiration from classic 1970s Americana and the grit and grime cinema of that era, yet it maintains this deeply intimate, contemporary emotional perspective. In this episode, we talk about how they built that grounded road movie aesthetic. We talk about why embracing raw imperfections actually make the story feel more authentic, and how they visually balance the tenderness of romance with the high stakes of a crime thriller. It's a fantastic conversation for film lovers and filmmakers alike. So please welcome Jean-Philippe Bernier to the show. Hope you enjoy. This is not something I see very often, but I'm 49 now, and it feels like there was a movie like this that came out probably every 2 or 3 months when I was that age. These kind of like young budding criminals. It was kind of a thing that from in the 90s that was being reintroduced from the 70s. It was like kind of like Badlands every 20 years come around. And so it feels like it's in that tradition, but we haven't had one of these in quite a while.
It's maybe you're right. It's so hard to say. Like, I feel like, I mean, Adam and myself, we do love movies a lot, and I'm about the same age as you, and Adam's just a little bit like older, but we came, from the love of the movies from that era, so 70s, 80s, 90s. So I guess without trying to recreate something, it's always there. It's always like tainted in the back of our head, I guess.
Well, there's certain films, if you see them at, when you're at that impressionable age, they kind of etch their way into your DNA, and it's inevitable that you're going to, whether you're conscious of it or not, those will be the things that become how you understand the language of music, film, art, the things that you see, I think, when you're younger. But it's not to say that this is a complete, it's not an homage necessarily, because I feel like it is its own thing. This is a film that exists on its own terms. So what was it that drew you to this project?
What do you mean? Like, repeat that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, what was it that drew you to the project? What was it
it
about?
drew me. I mean, first of all, Adam, like that was my third movie with Adam.
Yeah.
This relationship, like, it might sound cheesy, but like the end game of making movies, especially that I'm like a French Canadian that started doing smaller stuff, that I'm now being open to the world and working with people outside, that felt surreal to me that it's happening, but like the end game is always to like go back to making movies with friends, as weird it can sound.
No,
like I used to
sense.
shoot movies in the weekend with my friend, having a day job. Then I started to be an assistant camera on bigger movies, but I was still on my day off shooting like horror movies, fake trailers for a Fantasia Film Festival and stuff like that. And I feel like with Adam, this the first movie we done together, like I feel like the first week, like first meeting, we connected in such like a personal level. We liked the same thing. We liked super obscure horror movies, but at the same time, we love a movie like Perfect, which like with Curtis and John Travolta, that is super cheesy, but I love that stuff. Like so, and it was the same with Adam. Like he knew everything that's like super grindhouse, like deep cut that like we used to get like in video store growing up, but also could love something cheesy and romance, and like we both love Romance the Stones. Like this is
it's an undeniable movie. It's so much fun.
Exactly, but again, like a lot of people will look down on that kind of stuff, or like, and I think so. I think this is why I'm like what drew me, and not necessarily to the project, like to the script, but to the project was like Adam. If Adam call, I'm there, just because it's it's like that thing. You're so lucky to be able to work with real friends and create art with people that you like, I think that's something else. And for the project, I think that one, the first, like, that was the third movie with Adam, first movie with him that he didn't wrote. So that
Mm,
was different. Like, he wrote Dinner in America and Snack Shack, and you really hear his voice in those two movies that are super
yeah.
personal. And I think he worked a lot with the writer as well, in while in prep when we were shortlisting and everything, to make his scripts its own. Like the original ones was a little bit different, especially on the ending side. So at the end of the day, I think I mean, like you said, I love the good, like good people going rogue story. Like there's a line in the
Yeah.
movie that I love that the Tom wrote. It's like, are we what she says? Are we good people pretending to be bad, or bad people pretending to be good? And I just love that kind of stuff. I think that the kind of movie that it's so you can connect to those characters so much because they feel real, even if they're bigger than life a little bit sometimes.
Of
You
course.
still get like attracted to them. And I think that story for me was just it's fun. There's action, there's like romance, but at the end of the day, what I love with Adam and his movies, it's like there's real art to it, like an emotional thing that is what I like to do in my job.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up two things in that I did want to bring up, which was also Snack Shack, which I adored. I thought that was such a
Yeah.
one. And again, that's a thing that I was so accustomed to those movies and movies of that flavor when I was younger.
Hmm.
And it's just this great summer movie where the stakes are could not be lower, and it's just teenagers coming of age, and it was such a wonderfully fun, funny movie, and it was woefully underseen. I think that
Hmm.
was just a great movie, and it's one of those ones that I think will have a long life. But to me, the movie is distilled into that one line, because we all feel that way. Are you pretending to be good, or are you, pretending to be bad? What's the truth about you? Because we all have
Hmm.
things that we do that we're uncomfortable with at some point in our life, that we look back at and we said the wrong thing, we did the wrong thing. Not to this degree, of course. Most
Of
people don't
course,
have
but
anything, but you relate to that reaction, I think.
yeah, and it feels, and especially that's such a contemporary thing or universal thing, I think you can connect to that kind of like emotion, and it's just you're just trying to survive and trying to do the good thing, but you never know where it's gonna go. I think in that movie it kind of goes a little bit wild at some
Yeah.
point, but I think that's why we're attracted to those two. Like, and you want that romance, like that for it. You have that feeling of that first love, that ending, like endless summer that you get from Snack Shack. You still have a little bit of that there, like that road
Yes.
trip that you do. Like, not to spoil the movie, but like there's a scene that I love, like in the last bar they go,
Oh my God.
like
Yeah.
there's around that table, and you say it's like for me, I was just seeing it as shooting it and like shortlisting it with Adam. For me, it was just this is just a pure break. It's just a breakup. Like it's a
Yeah.
breakup situation. It's way bigger than that in the movie, but emotionally, even if this is something that nobody would ever feel or see because it's like they're outlaw and all that, but that moment is just something that everybody felt, and it's just a breakup that you want it to work, but it doesn't work, and you try to kind of like
Yeah.
like lie to yourself a little bit, and they smile and they cry. That for me, that scene shooting it, like I felt it so much,
Well,
like there
oh,
was
it's
it's the best
beautiful.
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
it's again, not to give it away, but it is a breakup, and
Yeah.
that moment, and it's a mature breakup, because that's the
Yeah.
once you've had a few under your belt and you say, I actually care about this person and what's going to happen to them after this, that I don't want to selfishly hang on to them in this moment. I need to let go for the betterment of
Hmm.
both of us. So it's just a beautiful moment. And it was far more emotional than I was anticipating it would be. Like,
Yeah.
it really got a reaction out of me last night when I was watching this. And it's just not what you expect in a con movie, a bank robbery movie.
I think that's something Adam does well, and I think this is what attract me to work with him. There's nothing like that I love more in my job to bring the audience. I always think of the audience. I always think about I'm on that side of the screen, they're on the other side. I'm kind of
Yeah.
like the portal, you know? Like I see it here, and and I'm super lucky to experience it live. Like I'm there with them. But like I love creating stories that makes you safe in a way, and it's a good ride. I think Dinner in America does it really well. Snack Shack is probably one of the best
Yeah.
in that. You feel safe, you think it's that kind of movie, and at some point when you don't expect it, I'm just gonna punch you like in the lever. Just like gives you that, oh, that's that movie now. Emotional reality catch up. And I think that movie does it well. And that's what I love the most about movies with Adam so far. There's always something like that,
Well, there's the movie grinds to a halt and the momentum stops when Kira Sedgwick walks into the film.
Yeah.
And it is a emotional 180 degree, from where you've been in that moment. Things have started on the downturn at that
Hmm.
moment, clearly, but it's just, that's where the bottom completely comes out and it finds a new level that you really hadn't experienced in the film till that moment. And the way that you shoot that, it's just you're getting out of the way and allowing
Hmm.
them to perform, and the back and forth between them in that scene is just beautiful.
Yeah. That scene was, I mean, she's like, how could you get like a better casting than that for like mother and daughter, right? And
It's
especially in that kind of thing. And Kira was just down for it. It's always scary sometimes, like to like people, because like you get sorry, like you get that people sometimes want to look pretty, and they are pretty, but they
yeah,
want pretty lighting on top of they're already beautiful women, and they want that on top. And it's always scary to me to go into something like that it feels to me that's like emotional doesn't need that. Like we need reality, we need
yeah,
rawness, we need it needs to be grimy. And those two were just like going for whatever I was doing. Like it's just they were in it, they lived the parts, and so shooting those scenes, going a little bit more raw with a little bit of weird colors and stuff.
yeah.
It's such a great scene to do. And like you said, and you just give them space because they're doing their thing. You don't need to be fancy at that moment. You just need to experience what's going on.
Well, and it's especially powerful because of the scene right before it. The way that you have the golden light and everything coming in,
Yeah.
and it's just like there's a moment of peace before that, and then it's it's almost like there's this fantasy that they're in, and then this is reality. This is the actual reality, even though
Hmm.
it does feel a little bit more heightened in a sense. It just like they've really entered into a new movie at that moment in a lot of ways.
Hmm. Yeah, and we shot that like it was a huge page count. Like that was I think 14 pages. At some point we're like, oh, maybe we should shoot two cameras that day because I don't prefer one camera. I do prefer shooting one camera as well.
Yeah,
Um, I just feel like precision and thinking about edit and not coverage. But on that scene, I was like, we had 2 days to shoot 14 pages. But at the same times, there's no moment to actually there's no moment to actually cut this day in half because like you said it's so emotional. Like where did you stop
I,
and start again? So we pitched it to Kira like let's try to do most of it in one day with one camera, and we'll pick up some smaller stuff, less emotional stuff on the next day. And it worked great. I think it's better that way. I think it feels more real.
I could not agree more. It it's very jarring because you've had a two-hander the whole time with Kyle, where they've just been going back and forth this whole time, and then when you have them walk into this room and he's out of the picture, now it's just mother and daughter
Yeah.
in this moment. It's just such a different dynamic, and I know it's probably like a 6-7 minute moment. I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't clocking the time on it, but it does stop and reset. But it's also, I think, one of the most important moments in the film, which is why I was so
Hmm.
focused on it, because it is, I think that's the emotional truth. And we understand so much about her character through that moment, and how, we all go through this thing where, are we destined to be exactly like our parents? Or, are we just, as he was mentioning, the synapses that are firing in reaction? Or do we have the chance to push against that? Which directly ties into the exact ending moment of the movie,
Hmm.
which is very, I don't want to give it away, but it's something that I feel like you could interpret it different ways, where it's either, oh, there's a reaction that it looks like it's happy, but it's actually, to me, a deeply sad moment at the end. And I'm wondering for you, is that
Are you talking
designed to
about
be
the
a little bit
last shot?
ambiguous. Yeah, the very last shot to me is very.
So that's something Adam kind of like reworked from the original script, and I think I do love that version. And we talk so much about it in like in the office, just shortlisting it. But I think for us, it's just like feel like a lot of movies now don't have like classic ending. You know, like
Yeah,
I like an ending that just it's both. Like it is happy, it is sad, it's reality. You know, it's bittersweet. But at the same times, for me, seeing it, I'm like seeing a movie like that with an ending like that. For me, it's just like I just want to it play again and rewatch it right away. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think so. I think that was her design to make something fun, even if it's not. You know, even if it's tragic, but adding something fun to it. I think that was the plan, and I'm glad it worked. Like seeing what your reaction. But is it happy, sad? I think it's whatever you the audience. It's personal to everybody. It should be
I
personal.
I
It's not
bet
me to decide.
it could be
You know
different the next time I view it. That I could have
exactly.
a different reaction to it. That it felt just because of whatever was going on in my life. I have no idea. But last night when I felt the movie, it was a very satisfying. I, it's sad, but it feels fun to go along the ride. You know, there's horror films that are devastating, but you really have a great time watching them.
Hmm.
Like, I loved watching these characters, and it's a sad story to me, but I had so much fun hanging out with them that I was glad to have gone on the journey, and I'm sure I'll take it again with them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is sad, but it also is such a fun ride. You know, it's like both. Like that's what I love about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's like it's almost there's this thing that happens when you watch crime films. You watch Goodfellas or whatever it is that you're watching, and there's the part where they're learning how to do the con, or they're getting away with robbing the bank, getting away with the big heist, those kinds of things where it feels fun, and we're
Hmm.
complicit in the fun, even though we know it's morally wrong. We're having a good time. It's almost like there's a little bit of a comeuppance for us as the audience that we're paying for that in how we feel, and we see the reality of what happens in these situations, because I think we go through moments in life where we don't think about the chaos that we're causing in our wake through our actions, and so
Yeah.
it's that's being 25, I think.
And I think that's per design in a movie as well. Like we wanted to be with them. I
Yeah,
never really step back and look from a perspective from somebody else.
no,
You know, like the camera is always with these two. Like it's if they're not together, then we're gonna be with Sam character like Carolina when she goes see her mom, and you we stay with her, but we're still connected to her emotion. And I think that's per design. We're on the back seat of that car the entire time, from the beginning to the end. I think the only moment that I step back that I like, and it's weird, but I think that's the only moment that the camera doesn't follow them. It's when they leave home and we stay with the dad.
oh yeah, 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 you
And
hang
we
out,
have this
yeah,
shot of him and Justin and Adam were, I think, I can't remember. I don't think we talked about it on set, but they lingers like way longer than I thought they would be, you know, with John Grice. Like they're just looking at her girl going away. And you see it in his emotion. I think
yeah,
from that moment, if you rewatch it or when you rewatch it, you'll see that you can see everything that's going to happen to them just on that one shot that lingers on them. He knows,
yeah.
you know, we don't. And I think that's the only moment in the entire movie that we don't bring the camera with them if they leave. We always with them. That's the only time we stay there.
Oh, that's interesting. That's actually the one time that it becomes a sort of objective, like outsider point of view,
Yeah.
where it's the really looking in at what's going. And when you watch it again, you realize that he's watched this scene unfold before. He's seen this exit. He
Hmm.
knows how this plays out. He's been through
Yeah.
this before. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And you could play it on the other side, where you could have shot it very easily. And I think I've seen this in several movies where you have the point of view be from the front of the car. Then you have the person in the background where we're seeing his face and their faces, kind of there
Hmm.
as they wave goodbye to one another. And I could see it playing that way, but it's so much more impactful to have it where it's from the back of his head and you don't see anybody, and it's that distancing from it,
Yeah.
just so much
And
more
then you have
powerful.
his and you have his close up after that,
Yes.
and you just like see him, and you just see it like it's weird. Like he's sad that she's leaving, but you see in her eyes that he knows that something might happen, but he didn't stop her. It's
Well,
really interesting.
he knows that he can't. To me,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's the um, there's a maturity in the way that people say goodbye in this, that they're not hanging on when they know that they can't, and I really
hmm
appreciate that about it, because again, it's when we've seen this story told before. It would have normally been he's chasing them, trying to get her to stay, but he knows it's futile to hang on.
yeah. I love John. He was great. Like
Yes, he
there's
is.
like another scene. There's another scene that's not in there because they cut two scenes in the movie, I think, just to make it move faster. But there was another full scene with him, and I really enjoy working with him. Such a great. I mean, everybody on the cast was amazing in that
There's
one.
not a weak performance in
No,
this. Everybody's incredibly good, and this is one of those films that if you have the wrong actors cast, if they don't have the chemistry at the center of this, it does not work. Because you can have good actors that just don't work together, but that
yeah,
chemistry is what really is the thing that makes this click, for me personally.
yeah. Like Heat, like the movie Heat. I think there's like some similarities to like in terms of like pacing, like the ending of Heat is kind of like sad as well, and
Yeah,
it goes. But like there's like this scene with those two characters. It's like the two biggest actors, and you kind of feel like they're kind of like fighting
yeah.
to get the better performance. And even if you had the two best actor of the era, I always felt it a little bit. I love that movie, huge fan. But I
So do
always felt it. You always felt like they were trying to
I.
kind of like get the
They were
spotlight.
sparring. They
Yeah,
weren't scene
exactly,
partners, and
exactly.
but that works for that to me.
Yeah, it
Like they
does.
can spar, but yeah, they're not with each other in that moment. There's not that that connection there between the two of them, which does work for their characters, because they're not
Yeah.
trying to make a connection with each other in that moment. They're really just trying to one up each other, and actually works for those two characters in
Yeah,
that
it works for
piece.
that.
But
But
that's a good
yeah,
call out. And
I feel like it's like Sam, and I mean, it's hard not to fall in love with those two characters, with Oliver and Caroline, like and Caroline.
yeah,
They're such amazing actors and easy to work with. And I mean, that was my third movie with Kyle, I think,
yeah,
at that moment. So it's kind of crazy to just like go back and do it again. Like that's another thing. It's so easy when I know what he's gonna do. Like sometimes, like if I'm NL with him, I know how he's gonna react. I kind of feel it because I've been hanging out with him so much. Like I know if something happened, he'll react that way. So I'll be
yeah.
able to react that way. Yeah.
Well, he's one of those people that he's just the work that he's putting together for such a young actor, the body of work, to have this under his belt and Strange Darling, that would be more than enough for
Yeah.
me, just those two movies. But then it just keeps going on and on. He's one of those guys that's just, I'm so excited that he's working right now because he keeps doing interesting work.
Yeah. And I like that kind of stuff. Like, cause like what's crazy about this, and I think that's something I love with Adam. Like, when we did Dinner in America, like we attract a lot of the same. I mean, an horror fan. Like I grew up on
Yeah,
horror
same here.
and yeah, and same with Adam, but we don't make horror movies together. I mean, we did kind of one last summer that's not announced yet, but like it's cool to see that we makes movies and like that people that would normally snub like a little bit of a romantic comedy or stuff like that kind of love Adam's movie because they connect to it. And I love that seeing the reaction online of like you have like like Scream Queen and Scream King in a movie that's not
Yeah,
horror.
very true.
That for me, made with people, we're all horror people, but we didn't do it this time. And we just made like a movie that we love. And that for me is really interesting to see the audience, like everybody on Instagram and everything, like are really interested in that movie and they just post about horror and stuff like that. Oh, that's cool.
Well, I think horror fans have yeah, we already knew. We knew what she could do. We knew what he could do, obviously.
hmm
And so to see them in a role like this, it's not surprising that they could pull off something like this because they're both incredibly talented actors. So
Of
it's
course.
not a shock at all. And I think that there's something like Obsession that's in theaters right now. That's an incredible performance at the center of that. Um, and it doesn't get recognized typically, by awards and best of lists at the end of the year. But
Yeah.
some of the most well crafted films were little horror films that I've seen. They're these, some of the most innovative things have been done in horror, and so I think it's an incredibly important genre. I mean, even Martin Scorsese has said that if you don't like horror, then you don't understand film. It's so much of it is in horror, the way that tension is built, and the horror and comedy are directly tied to one another.
Yeah, there's
The
the
way
same.
they're the same mechanisms, and so
Yeah.
and drama, it's the same thing with the payoff. And I think it's honestly more difficult to pull off horror than it is to pull off a drama in a lot of ways.
I think you're right. I think and I do the connection a lot with horror and comedy because like you're trying to get something fun, like a laugh, or you're trying to get a scare, but the build up is kind of similar,
Yeah,
like in term, especially on my side and on my job, like the way I'm going to use camera and lighting and the way we're cutting it to create tension, or like you want to surprise somebody, you want to make it laugh. I think it's the same thing.
yeah, absolutely. It's the buildup of tension and release is really the
Yeah.
mechanism that it's working on. And that's what a drama works on also,
Hmm.
where we know it's just a much slower unwinding. There's a moment, from that moment that you're talking about with the father, we know this is going to go a certain direction.
Yeah.
It's Boogie Nights, the long road, unwinding of that kind of thing. But you're going to see this,
Hmm.
and it's going to happen. When is it going to start to happen? And Sam plays this so well, where you can see her before things have gone sideways. You can see her reckoning with it so early on. There's moments where she looks ill, and it's playing into things that are happening literally inside of her. But there's also the emotional side that she's carrying, where it's like I for moments would think like, is she like drunk right now? Is what's going on? And no, but
Hmm.
it's her
I
dealing
know.
with
I know what you
everything.
mean.
It's her eyes. She can do so much without saying a word. It's incredible.
Yeah. No, she was great. She really is like a talented actor. I mean, they both are. Like
Yes,
it's good to see them in those roles. Like that felt good to me to create that world with them and giving them space that I feel like they really needed, and I feel like they deserve like to do something different and then to create like something like that. Yeah.
absolutely. Well, when's the movie coming out? When is this going to be
So
available?
I don't know everything. It's June 5th
June 5th. Okay.
in June 5th in theater. I'm not sure. I know it's US release. I'm not sure in Canada. You're probably US based, right?
I'm
Or
US.
do
I'm in
you?
Arizona. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not sure in Canada where it's gonna play, but definitely US theatrical release. Premiere is next week. So really excited about it. Like
I
that's a movie that I'm really, really proud of. Like I love
you
that
should
project so
be.
much.
You guys did something really special here, man. This is one of those ones that you can look back at and, definitely put up on the wall. This is a trophy of a
Hmm.
movie. This is one that you
Thank
can look
you. I
back and
appreciate it a
say,
lot.
damn, I did something good. This is the one best job I ever had in my life was working at a video store, because I
Mm,
got to hang out and bullshit about movies all day. And my favorite thing was to, we were video store clerks. We were the original algorithm, so we would recommend
yeah,
things to people. And this would be the movie that I would 100% recommend to, like, that's like the cool person that would come in that had good taste. You'd be like, okay, check this one out. This is something, I don't know if you heard about this one or not, but you need to see this movie. So yeah, thank you for adding to that. I really
I
appreciate it.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love that. Used to be a huge fan I've never worked in a video store, but always wanted to.
Well, I
But
can't
yeah.
anymore, unfortunately. If I could,
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I know. That's
Hey
why I
guys,
still, yeah.
Rebecca here from Magnolia, just saying hi.
hi,
Is the
Rebecca.
I
interview still going? I just wanted to just drop in if you have any questions about distribution, that's all.
Oh, no, no, no. I'll include all that in the show notes and everything, and do that in the intro for it. I'll put everything in there.
Okay, cool. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Rebecca.
Rebecca, I have a quick question while you're there. So is there any plan for Canada for the theatrical release?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking and I really don't know. We're not doing Canada.
Oh, got it.
Magnolia Pictures is not releasing in Canada, so I'm so
Oh, got
sorry.
it.
But I'll
Got it.
try to check and email you guys about it.
Okay,
That's
thank you.
okay. I can cut back to that part and pull all the release stuff and just have good release information at the beginning of it.
Yeah, we're very excited. We love this movie. It's so good.
It's a
And
good
this
one.
interview's been
I'm
great. I've been listening, and thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. This is not something where I'm being polite. I genuinely love this film, and
It's
so
very special. Yeah.
yeah, you did something really incredible here. So I know we're pretty much at time right now, but thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to do this. I appreciate it. And
My
after
pleasure.
Snack Shack, then this. And you have a horror one that you're not talking about yet, but I am excited to see what that is. So I'm
It's
definitely on board.
I think you're gonna love that one. Like it's the kind of stuff that it feels like it's a fun movie that flip into a really dark horror
Love
and come
that.
back to a fun movie, I think. And if you haven't seen Dinner in America, I highly recommend
I
it.
have not. I have not seen that yet, so I'm going to check that out.
So I think, I mean, seeing it with the t-shirt you wear now, like it's like you follow like Kyle Gallner, who plays a punk band, like a punk band singer. It's in your face. It's raw. It's unapologetic. But it's still like a romantic comedy in its own way, made for us. I think that's the movie that would be made for you as well, because we made it for us. Like we didn't have that kind of romantic comedy for us in the 90s, like a fake, the girl trying, like the super sexy girl faking to be ugly and like, all that crap. Like this is a real, like true, like over the top, like rom-com for punk people. So
Love
highly
that.
recommend.
Hell yeah.
You're gonna
Hell
love
yeah.
it.
I'm so on board. Thank you. I will watch that tonight. I will find
No,
that
you're
tonight.
gonna.
So
Yeah. I'm
okay.
looking forward to hear what you think about it.
Okay. And I will pass that along. But I do have
Great.
one kind of last question for you.
Sure.
If you were going to do a double feature with this film, what would you program to be beside it?
At close range, probably.
That's a great call. Yeah.
I think I just rewatched it, and it's a movie that Adam loves, that I've never seen before. Adam, he introduced it to me, and like young Champagne and like
Yes.
the way it's right and the relationship. It's different from that, but like also with a weird dad like there's so much close to a close range. So I think that would be it. Like if there's one double feature, definitely
That's the one
that.
to go with. Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would not have thought about that one. I haven't seen that movie in 30 years or something like that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So
I think Arrow, it might be just Arrow UK, but like somebody just re-released like a 4K transfer
well,
like 3 months
4Ks are
ago. So
universal, and I have a region free player because any
there
good
you go.
collector would have that. So
Exactly, same. So find that out, and good double feature.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks
Enjoy
to
the
you.
rest of your
I
weekend.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
You
brother.
too.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Get cell phone ring lit up on a nice night. I gotta say you got a cheese grater, boys. Acting like I meant to hurt, screaming like I meant to hurt. But bitch, I don't work for you anymore. Bitch, I don't work for you anymore. And it's hot inside of the sun. I could put you there. And it's hot inside of the sun. I would put you there. Yeah. And it's hot inside of the sun. I would put you there. And it's hot inside of the sun. I would put you there.